Alright guys, so as promised, I've got the Azerbaijan live com for today, and also of course we've got our end of season update, which I will pull at the end, so a bit of a different order. Normally I would do an update then a live com, but hey, live com first. I have uploaded the previous part to this before recording this, and I've got a bit of feedback from you guys. Now, I believe a few of you told me to try and approach some of the Gibraltar players that are actually in the team, some of the better Gibraltar players, and I've decided against it, apart from Amari. I've actually offered Amari a deal, and I think it's like $7 grand a week he wants or something, but I'm going to offer it to him purely on the basis that I could loan him out and hopefully get him playing first team football somewhere rather than him just retiring. And looking at the bench, for example, Kevin Stockbridge is my backup centre-back and Scott Holmes is my backup centre-back. Nowhere near the level of Amari. So I'm going to bid for him and only him. The other guys like Ian Forbes, Lugaro, who are all very good players and all, you know, very good for their positions, I'm not actually going to go in for them, and I'm not going to sign them down to my deals. Now, they are currently at Lincoln, both of them. If I'm correct in saying that, they are Lincoln, who I wasn't sure about this last time, but they are a professional team, yeah, who are actually a professional team. So you know what, there's no real benefit from me taking players away from Lincoln and bringing them to my team, because if they're at Lincoln, at least they're playing first team football, which is something they couldn't say with me. So hopefully a lot of the people will go Lincoln, because like I say, I'm just not going to offer them first team football. With Amari, I will sign him. I will try and play him as much as possible if I can't arrange a loan deal for him, but hopefully that's something I can arrange. Anyway, we've got a fixture to talk about with Gibraltar itself before we go into this game, and it was the previous two games, one against Georgia, upon which we lost 3-0 in our first ever home game. In this one, Dan Evans got himself sent off in the 9th minute, and from that point on, we knew it was going to be even more of a struggle than it normally is, and we would go, well, it was about the same as the game as the previous game between us and Ukraine. However, we did concede in the first half, something we didn't do against Ukraine. We actually picked up quite a lot of yellow cards. You see, Dan Evans picked up 2 in the space of 3 minutes. We picked up quite a few in the second as well. But you know, it was just another game for us, really, and that's another defeat. Still, actually, from that game, something I should actually say is there were still some very good defensive performances despite the fact we conceded 3 goals. Lugaro played really well. Billy Jones performed some brilliant saves yet again. So there are glimpses of quality in the team. Even though it may not be the same level as other national teams, there are little glimpses of quality, which means hopefully we can get a victory soon. And against Cyprus, we lost 3-2. Now, the scoreline suggested it was a tight match, but it wasn't. Cyprus dominated, and Cyprus probably deserved a scoreline that reflected that, you could argue. However, you could also argue that based upon the fact that they didn't take their chances, then they didn't really deserve it. One thing I want to show you, though, if I go into the highlights, because as you can see, we were 3-0 down before we pulled it back to 3-2, and it was a 90th minute penalty that made it 3-2, so the scoreline does look more favourable towards us based on our game, on how we actually played. But there's one highlight in the first half before Cyprus scored, which I was so disappointed we didn't take, and I believe it is this one here, so I guess we'll start it from here, and it's our attack. Like I say, it's a chance for us. Here's Goff playing it to Lugaro with Henry with a beautiful shot that hit the bar, and I don't know how none of the players there, I've pressed continue, none of the players in that sort of area around the goal were able to get that shot in. Let me go back to here and actually go back to the pitch view, and can I pause it? Yeah, like how Rowley, how Smith, and how Hammond, none of them seem to just be able to pounce onto the ball. If we'd have scored that, we'd have taken a 1-0 lead. It could have been a different game. It could have obviously led to a different result as well, but you know, we were so close to taking the lead, and that would have given me a massive boost of confidence. So going in today, we have Azerbaijan, obviously the team that are just above us in the qualifying. They are 5th with Bob Harris in charge. How have their previous 3 results gone? It's actually been a 2-0 defeat to Portugal, a 2-1 defeat to Ukraine, and a 1-1 draw to Georgia. So they've played really well against Georgia to get their draw. Looking at their league, our league is actually better than theirs, which is quite crazy. Again, when you really think about it, it's quite, oh, god damn it, I keep pressing back and it's taking me to the game. Let's go to Nation. If you think about it, look, our 2nd division is better than their 1st division. So it really does say something about our level of football. And it's just a shame that our actual players that we produce through the Nation are not really the same level as maybe our league is as our league level. You know, we still don't produce great youth players, but hopefully that can change. So let's go into the squad today, and I'll run through the starting lineup. We're still playing the same formation as I played in the first game, and I've played that same formation through all the other games. In terms of the squad right here, it's one of the strongest squads. I think there's like 2 or 3 players I would have preferred than maybe people in this whole 23-man squad. But in terms of the starting 11, it's pretty strong. In fact, it might even be the strongest team we can field. And in fact, as you can see, tiredness is very much an issue. So I don't actually know many of the players yet. I will obviously get to learn the players. But yeah, with Danny Wilkins, we're going to swap out. Daniel Stubbs, who is a player from our youth system, we're going to swap out for another player who will be leaving our club in the summer due to his contract expiring, in Kevin Stockbridge. And I think we'll also drop Josh Henry out, and we'll put Gareth Smalley in. Actually, no, sorry, Dan Evans in. Because the only reason Josh Henry was actually playing in the previous game and almost scored in the previous game is because Dan Evans was, of course, suspended. And yeah, apart from that, I'm just going to have to deal with the fact we're going to have a few tired players maybe come the end of the game. So this is the team we're going to go out there with. Let me go on the tactics screen and I'll run through it. So in goal we have Jones. Right back we have Hernandez. Centre-backs of Amari and Stockbridge. A centre-back partnership which I believe played a few times for me. And Lagaro is left-back. Wilkinson is our defensive midfielder for the day. Dan Evans is our centre mid. Rowley is right attacking mid. We've got Mark Hammond, Charlie Goff as our other attacking midfielders, and up front we have Aaron Smith. The bench is Dean Sinclair, Alviano, Stubbs, Forbes, Grant, Smalley and Gomez. So, come on team. Mark Hammond is going to captain the team today, I guess. I mean, normally they recommend the best guy possible. Though based on obviously caps, Amari probably is the highest capped player in our team. So a win here today would put us up to 4th. Obviously, we're not looking for a win here necessarily today. We're looking for something. Whether it's a good performance and a defeat, whether it's a draw, we're looking for something that we can at least be proud at. So Aaron Smith picks up his 50th cap today. I did not actually realise that. And in fact, something I should mention as well, this national team, this squad I've selected for these 2 games against... who did we play a second ago? I'm drawing a blank. Whatever, the team we played a second ago in Azerbaijan, the squad that we've got today has an average age of 19. That shows that we are producing better quality players now than maybe those of previous generations. You know, the average age obviously skewing towards the younger side of the footballers' ages shows that, like I said, the younger players are better than the older players, and we are bringing through a better generation of youth players, but it's still not really good enough and not really much progress. Also, as well with staff, I brought in a lot of my own staff, and as you can see, actually, it's my same assistant manager I managed to get in with Gibraltar, who is at my Gibraltar United team. So I've got some great staff working with the players here for the national team, probably better than the standard of staffing that many of them will have at their clubs. So I'm not too sure actually about that, because like I said, many of them play for Lincoln, and some of them were our ex-players who now play for Lincoln or other teams in the Premier League. As Azerbaijan get themselves a chance very early on, and it goes wide of the mark, so 0-0. To start off the game in the first shot. I think it was a click opportunity, the first shot. It must have been. Wow. Fell asleep, didn't start the game quick enough, did we? Alright, so 15 minutes in and it's still 0-0, still no more highlights. Also, as well, tell me if there's any difference in quality for the pictures, for the picture I should say, for the actual quality of the video you're watching, because I'm trying out some new recording software, and because the other one was giving me problems, and I thought, you know, I'll try a new one, and I don't want to decrease the quality if I can avoid it. As Azerbaijan yet again miss another good opportunity. This time it's Billy Jones with a very good save. I believe we had a little bit of a lag there, so apologies. But yes, Billy Jones has been amazing so far for our team, and he is our player currently on loan to Lincoln. He'll probably I'll try and get him out there again if I can. I'll try and loan Billy Jones out, because like I say, a lot of these people, if they do play for my side, which quite a few of them do, they just don't play for my first team. They are just youth players. You know, we don't have a youth squad, so we're reserve players technically. As we've taken the lead. Charlie Goff with the goal, his first ever goal for Gibraltar. Rowley's cross was incredible. Rowley is actually, I believe, a natural striker, but I've played him out on the right hand side, and what a cross in, and Goff with a beautiful header. Really well worked goal from us there, and we take the lead against Azerbaijan. And you know what? The game's not been too, you know, uneven. We've been all right. We've been in there, and that's something we haven't really been able to say in the other games, despite the 3-2 defeat, obviously, in the previous one. So Hernandez is looking very tired and also not playing well. Plus, he's on a yellow, so to me that means I've got to take him off. We'll bring on Stefan Avellano, who is actually one of the better players of this team. However, due to the fact he plays left back with where we currently have Christian Lugaro, who is an even better player on that side. That means he's currently having to sit on the bench. But I'll put him out on that left back role, and in fact it'd be really great if his club could actually train him as a right back, so I could play him as right back, because something about this nation I've seen is we lack in a few positions. So for example, we don't really have a great, I think, right attacking midfielder or right back. However, we have an abundance of good strikers who could play as wingers and good left backs who maybe could be changed out onto that right hand side. And here we go, another attack. Could we get a counter attack here? It's Charlie Goff, the goal scorer, whipping it in, and just couldn't make the connection, coming from an opportunity that Azerbaijan had from the other end. Yet again, Jones and Omari playing really well, and Lugaro as well. Three of our better players in this team pulling in brilliant performances in defence to keep us with a clean sheet so far. As Smith could capitalise on a defensive mistake, and he hits the post and he couldn't get a rebound in. I think it was him. I don't know if it was blocks or whatever. Here's Goff with a corner, and Stockbridge heads it over. We are pulling in a very good shift here, and we are giving Azerbaijan a real run for their money. We're going to make some more substitutions. We're going to take Joe Rowley off. We are going to bring Sam Grant on. We're also going to take, I do want to take Omari off because he's tired. However, I can't because he's playing so well. Instead, we're going to bring John Paul Gomez on and hope the different striker could continue to cause problems for Azerbaijan as this game ticks on. Here we go. Another highlight. Only just under 13 minutes left in the game. Do we get another opportunity? Here is Hammond giving the ball away to Azerbaijan, and they end up playing the ball backwards, so it does allow us to get back if we want to. I probably should have changed up the tactic or gone a little bit more defensive. We'll see what happens from here. Oh, we avoid yet again from conceding. Azerbaijan wasting yet again another opportunity. They've only had one shot on target, and I wanted to make that change and I didn't do it. Now it's another highlight, and of all the goals to concede, it's that one. I should have changed up tactic. I should have gone more defensive. But you know what? I'm going to keep it how it is for now and see if we can create another attack for ourselves in these latter parts of the game. Don't concede in injury time, lads. Will we get one more highlight here in the dying seconds of the match? Lugaro. Still going. Plays it out right. Crosses in, but it goes to no one. But what an historical day. And if it wasn't for us conceding that late goal, it would have been even more important. But what a historical day for Gibraltar national team. It may only be a draw and it may only be to Azerbaijan, but when you put it in perspective of we've never picked up a point in this competition before. In qualifying, we have never got a result, and now we have 1 point to our name. What an incredible performance from the team out there. They really put in a shift, a slightly better attacking performance, and who's to say we couldn't have actually won the game by outscoring the opposition. So from what I've seen for these past 2 games, with my own squad selected against Cyprus, we lost 3-2 to Cyprus, right? Who did we lose to? I can't, honestly, I'm drawing a blank on the second. Yeah, with Cyprus. The fact that we lost 3-2 to Cyprus, and we've drawn 1-1 to Azerbaijan. These past 2 games have been very good, and results that we can definitely hold our heads high about. But most importantly, our first ever point. I'll do the press conference myself. It's important. As a national team manager, I do my press conferences. I don't do them for club. But that yellow circle there, that half coloured in yellow circle, may not mean a lot in terms of the grand scheme of things. It's definitely not going to help us qualify. In fact, we're probably not. Let's be real. We're not going to qualify. But that 1 point could be the platform we need to now push on with the international breakthrough. In fact, when was the last time this club picked up a point? It was previously against Lithuania. And in fact, we played Azerbaijan last year and lost to them 2-0 on both occasions. Now, we can say we walked away from Azerbaijan, which is away from home, which is even harder, which makes the accomplishment a little bit better. We walked away there with a 1-1 draw. And in fact, like I say, if it wasn't for conceding that pretty poor goal, because let's face it, the goal we conceded wasn't probably the hardest chance they had. It wasn't the hardest shot, I should say, Billy Jones had come towards him. So he'll probably be a little bit disappointed with that. But yes, 1-1. I'll meet you guys back in a second when I will do the end of season update with Gibraltar United. But I'm very, very excited with the Gibraltar national team now. Alright guys, now we're at the end of season update. Let's go through a few things. So, I feel we've got a lot to talk about the club first. We'll go on to the sort of general overview. I know the facilities is because it's more based on the facilities. So, right now, during this off-season, we will start improving our training facilities and our youth facilities. So our great training facilities will be improved to the next level up. I don't actually know the wording of that. And our below average youth facilities will also be improved to whatever the next level up is. One other quite major thing as well is our youth recruitment is no longer minimal. It is now basic. Which means, I believe youth recruitment, if I can remember the way it is, youth recruitment is normally sort of, consider it sort of a radius of where you sort of get your players from. So the best way to think of this is maybe, you know, say if you were in England and you were a London team, if you had basic youth recruitment, the chances are you're going to get them all from the area upon which your club is based. Now, the larger you get your youth recruitment, the further worldwide, and I believe it sort of goes, or the bigger the radius you could consider it, of where your players will start coming from. Basically, the better youth recruitment, the more chance you've got of finding young players through your youth system that actually have good potential. So the fact that we have improved that, we are going to be improving both our training and youth facilities are really good, and you can see they're both currently being penciled in and they'll hopefully be completed next season. Now, there's also some major news surrounding the stadium. Now, financially, we have got enough money to build a stadium. As you can see, we've got 30 million in the bank. And of course, 30 million isn't enough by itself to pay off a stadium. However, it is enough to sort of cover debt costs and keep us hopefully in the black if we were to build a new stadium. But as you saw in the boardroom, there is actually no new stadium thing here. And that's because the actual request to the local council to get ourselves permission to build that new stadium was turned down, which is really, really annoying and really disappointing. Obviously, I've wanted a new stadium for a long time. The fact that we could have our own stadium, we could make our own pitch dimensions, we'd bring in probably all the income as well. Obviously, I assume we could put a sponsorship on it. We'd be able to use it as a great stream of revenue. But now, you know, it's been shut down and we can't currently ask for a new stadium. However, it will be one of the things I ask for next season. I will continuously ask for it until we get that done, because we need a new stadium. 5,000 is not enough for Victoria Stadium, and we can only put 2,000 people in for the European games that for some reason we have to play there. And even Europa Point really isn't big enough. But the fact is, again, it's not our own stadium, so we don't get to fiddle with pitch dimensions and all of these things, and, you know, sponsorship deals that come from having your own stadium. But anyway, that's about the club itself. That's a lot of big news. I feel like we should also go over a few things, and the best place to go over these is through this. So I believe it's the commercial, which I believe I can't spell. No, it is a commercial summary. This is a really good thing as well. I think it's one of the first times I've picked this one up, because if you're a small club, you don't actually get a commercial summary. But I think this is one of the first times you guys will see this anyway. But if you can actually see the numbers, I'll run through them individually. You will see we've made some great strides towards bringing in a lot of money. So we've got ourselves a new stadium sponsorship. Actually, we do have a stadium sponsorship. I lied there. I thought we didn't have one because technically it's not our own stadium. But we have a new stadium sponsorship this year, which is a 4-year deal, which is over 3 times the amount of our previous deal. So we're bringing in 3 times more money from our stadium alone. We've got ourselves a new continental competition sponsor for a year, which is an additional 215k per year, in comparison to the 168,000 through last year. And again, you know, things like the overall sponsorship money, as you can see, it's now 475,000. Which is comparison obviously to last year, which is pretty much doubled that has. You know, we currently have 4 major sponsors with an annual revenue of 679k, so we bring in a lot of money there. In terms of corporate and hospitality facilities, we've increased the money we brought in through there as well. In terms of broadcast revenue and prize money, that is actually decreased from last year. I don't really know why, but it's not too much of a decrease. It's only 625k. And as well as that, look at the shirt sales. We've sold 2,950 shirts this season. Maria, Sidibe, Sinogo, Hamerli, and Giselle being the major sellers. We only sell 74,000 of our shirts, or 74,000 pounds of our shirts domestically. Oh no, sorry, non-domestically, which means we have a major support in Gibraltar, obviously itself, but it does also mean we have support from abroad. And if you look at the top 5 shirt sales, you'll see that they're all foreign. And I'm not sure how many of you know this, but if you go on tours of countries as a pre-season, or you have a few good players from that country, you can actually boost your reputation in your country and can actually boost shirt sales and boost revenue from that said country. So Commercially, like I say, and money-wise, we're doing really well. We actually make the most money through the sponsorship. I think we make around, I think it said like 2 million or something total or some nonsense like that. Or, no, the league brings in 2 million, I think it was, and we bring in the most amount of money for sponsorship deals. And, you know, things like that. Overall, the club size itself is really, really high. In fact, if I go onto the national team now and click on the nation and the clubs itself, you can see that list-wise, we have now got a 2.5-star reputation. And that as well matches the league, which itself also has a 2.5-star reputation, which is increased from last year. As well as that, you know, we've got a lot of 2-star teams as well, which is Lincoln and St. Joseph's, who I believe both will be entering the Europa League this year. So, let's have a look financially as well. Finance-wise, actually, Lincoln aren't even the second most valued club in our country, which is surprising considering they're professional, but I guess professional does take its toll on it. But yeah, I don't think there's too much else I particularly want to go through. Season summary, I guess we could look at this because I don't really have many other stats, but league-wise, we did win the league. You know what, yeah, I'll click on it this way. League-wise, we won the league with our club, obviously. We won the FA Cup. We're not in the FA Cup, sorry, I'm thinking of the English leagues. But we won the cups, we won everything that we wanted to win. So we won the league yet again. So, you know, 14 wins out of 14, only conceding 4 goals. Yet to go 1 full season without conceding. But it's been an incredible year, and the quality of player we have has improved so much. For the league itself, like I said, reputation-wise, it's now 2.5-star. We are now ranked the 33rd best league in Europe. And, you know, if we look up ahead, you know, in terms of the leagues above us, the Liga Adelante is just above there. You've got some Swiss leagues, the Holland League and stuff. That's the Holland second league, actually. But we've got some really good leagues ahead of us. So, you know, soon we'll be competing up there with the Championship. I always compare myself to the English leagues because obviously it's stuff that I know. And the fact that we're above League One now is really nice. But in terms of our quality of player, it's a lot better than League One for ourselves alone. Obviously, we depend a lot upon the other clubs in our league for that reputation as well. And one really, really major bit of news that I need to tell you guys about, but I've tried to delay it as much as possible. In terms of qualification places for Europe, we now get so many teams in Europe. We now get 5 teams in Europe. Yep, 5 teams. I was right in counting that. Am I? Yes. We now get 5 teams in Europe in comparison to the 4 that we have been getting previously, which means only 1 more extra team in Europe, which, you know, isn't too much. But when you consider the fact that we now have 2 teams entering the Champions League, we now have 2 teams entering the 3rd qualifying round of the Europa League, and 1 team entering the 2nd qualifying round of the Europa League, we're going to have so much money coming into the league. So from next season, basically, we enter from the 3rd qualifying phase for Champions, which is 1 stage later than we currently enter now, which obviously is great, which means we can get more of a pre-season in. It also means that a team finishing 2nd, most likely to be Lincoln, will enter the best place playoff. Now, teams who finish I can't actually do it here, but I believe teams that get knocked out at that stage get around 1 million or so, and then also go into the Europa League group stage, not group stage, sorry, playoff as well, I believe they go into, if I'm correct. So Lincoln, or the team that finished 2nd, whoever that may be, will get a great chance to make a lot of money. Even if they don't pick up a result, they'll still pick up a lot of money. And also, like I say, the teams in the Europa League will continue to pick up money, and 1 more extra team will enter Europe, which will just be extraordinary. And also, if you can see as well, Scotland are currently sitting 12th, which is 2 positions above us, and they have 1 team entering the group stage, 1 team entering the 3rd qualifying phase, 1 team entering the group stage of the Europa League. We are so very close to getting them as well. So another really good year in Europe for us, hopefully a year bettering the one this year, because I think we've got some good players coming in, we've got some signings to go through as well. But I think we've got the making to have a really good year in Europe yet again, and help boost up, you know, this league even more, and get some, you know, make it even easier for the teams entering European competitions apart from us to do well in Europe. So that was the big news. In terms of nation coefficients, this is nation coefficients, isn't it? I was just thinking, because we don't get ranked in terms of the world rankings, do we get ranked in terms of European rankings? We do not, actually. Where you see it says NA, not applicable. Oh, I said that wrong. Whatever. But yeah, I don't think we actually get ranked on there. Maybe now that we have a point, we might get a ranking. I don't know. I don't really know how this works. But I would have thought European teams were ranked by UEFA as well in terms of national teams. And with our recent draw to Azerbaijan, who are 122nd here, I guess it's actually based on the world rankings. Yeah. Which is why Azerbaijan are 122nd. So yeah, we won't actually get a ranking, which is a shame. Maybe this would be it. maybe this technically is... I'm not too sure. I don't really know what I'm on about. Let's stop. Because I don't really know what I'm talking about. But in terms of another thing to talk about as well, in terms of our club coefficient points, we are now ranked the 26th best team in Europe, which again is quite incredible. When you look at the teams who are around us, I mean, we're just behind, well, not just behind, actually, in terms of points, yeah, we're just behind Liverpool, the, I believe, still 5-time world champion, European champions. I don't know where, I'm getting my words all mixed up right now, but yeah, they should still be 5 times Champions League winners, 5-time European champions. No, they're 6 times. See, I was even wrong there. So that's 6-time European champions are just above us. And again, I made this point last time, I believe, as well. We are currently ranked 26th, but when you bear in mind how many English teams are above us, I'm pretty sure how many Spanish teams are above us and stuff like that, and even French teams are above us, we will probably be a second-seeded team in Europe next season, which will obviously just benefit us even more. So that's all to talk about in terms of the league growth, our club growth, everything growth. No other real news I feel like I need to talk to you about. I don't think any other Gibraltarian teams have turned professional. It's still just Lincoln, who finished 2nd last year. The teams entering Europe next year for us will be us, Lincoln, St. Joseph's and Britannia. Us ourselves, we have KR in the Champions League 2nd qualifying phase, the Icelandic team. Yet again, I won't be showing any of the qualifying stages for our European campaign. I will just jump straight into the group so I don't bore you, because I think the qualifying stage for us right now is very, very easy and just very predictable. We're going to win pretty much all of them. Let's have a look at who the other teams got in Europe. I don't know if Gibraltar have, Lincoln have been drawn yet. No, they have not. I think based on our previous one, St. Joseph's will have got a team. They have Bray Wanderers, which is a game they could win. I think Bray are a semi-professional team from Ireland. They are, so yeah, St. Joseph's could win there, and actually been given the favourites tags for the first game. And Britannia, who have they got? They have Spartak, who I'm not actually sure where they are from, but they have been given a favourite tags. They are a Serbian professional team. I don't know why Britannia have been given quite solid favourite tags as well. Heck, you know, maybe they could win. I don't know. It could be a good year in Europe for us, but we'll have to check that out next time for the transfer update. Sorry, but with the schedule update and with the tactics update. Like I said, I don't think there's anything I want to go over on this screen. As you can see, just a lot of predictable wins, 2-11 nils, 9 nils and stuff like that. So I will end this with a few transfers and a few hints at the sort of players we're going to be signing. So, transfer history, I'll go on to last season. We signed Amari. That is official. He is now a Gibraltar player. Sorry, not a Gibraltarian. But he is now a Gibraltar player yet again, which is good. Like I say, he's on a very hefty wage, 6.25k a week. He's currently listed for loan as well. But like I said, if I can't loan him out, I'll try and play him in as many league games as I can to keep his fitness and stuff up. But in terms of transfers coming in, we've got 2 very, very major guys who are yet to join. They're joining on the 28th. Of the 6th, 2031, sorry, and also the 28th for the 6th, 2031. So I'll go through them now. Like I say, next time we meet up, we can actually look at them in the squad. But the first guy is Fumaka, I believe it's pronounced, centre-back from Brazil, 22 years of age. He'll be coming in being our starting centre-back next season for us. Apparently, he's about the same level as Bakayoko. And based on his record in the Brazilian division, he is a very good player. The Brazilian division is... To me, anyway, I do rate it quite highly. I consider it up there with European leagues. So the fact that he getting 7s cannot be knocked. And he will be joining on a pretty hefty fee, 7 million. However, only 2 million is up front. 2.5, I should say, is up front. 3 million of that is over 48 months. And 1.6 is sort of in that area where he has to play 50 league games. However, as you may know here, 50 league games is very hard to get. So they may never get that 1.6 million, but they could get that 1.6 million. And plus 5% of the next sale will also go to them. However, I'm not sure if he will ever leave. But I don't really mind that. I think it's a decent transfer. And like I say, not a lot of the money will be paid to them. They will definitely be getting 5.5 million. But the rest of it is sort of in that grey area where they may not get it. And the other guy we signed is a goalkeeper. We finally signed ourselves a new goalkeeper. Sergio Martinez wasn't actually my first choice goalkeeper. The first choice goalkeeper was considered a world-class goalkeeper. However, he wouldn't join me because he considered it a step down and wanted to move to a bigger club, which is why he wanted to leave his current club. But Sergio Martinez, if we go to comparison and compare him with Cox, you can see that he is better in certain areas, rushing out, throwing, kicking, one-on-ones, handling, things like that. Communication isn't as good. However, when we consider that his positioning is a little bit better, I mean, certain things, as you can see, certain red things are not as good, but I still think Martinez is a better goalkeeper. He's 1 year younger as well. So, you know, I guess you could say he's a little bit better. I don't know. I think Martinez is a better goalkeeper. According to reports, he is a better keeper than Cox. So, I'm going to trust the people who are doing my reports, because most of them, if not all of them, are at a very good standard. Because this guy who currently did it has got 14-14, but he's not the only guy to have done it. 16-17, still the same. I mean, it's still the same rating. So, Martinez I'm looking forward to. Hopefully he'll be the step up in goalkeeper that we've been looking for a few years. Again, quite a hefty fee, 6.5 million initial fee up front, which is a very, very large initial fee to be going out. There is a few things over 12 months. There are a few things after 50 league appearances again. And also he'll be paid 6,500 over 10 league games, which is 6,500 every 10 games. So 65,000 overall, which again is quite a bit of money, but I still think it's going to be worth it, and I still think it's going to improve the side, because if I look at my side, to me, the goalkeeper region, something we need to improve. The centre-back region was something we need to improve. And now maybe the left-back region. However, I am happy with the left-backs because Clark and Muster are very good players. I might let Muster's contract run out at the end of the season, just tick on by, because I don't really feel the need of spending money, or even more money, again this summer. But I'm very happy with the squad we got. I think it's got the right mixture of youth and somewhat experience, because we've not actually got a player over 30 in our team, but there still are experienced players in there. Sidibe, who is very experienced now, you know, has been here for a long time. How many seasons has it been actually? And is very respected in world football as well. It's 3, 6, 7 years. It will be 7th year he starts. So I'm looking forward to the next season. I think we've got another chance of making it really memorable, both in terms of the national team and also our team, you know, in terms of Gibraltar United. I'm looking for another good group stage. Hopefully we can go through one undefeated this time round. That is the next step up for the group stage. But most importantly, we're looking to go further than the first knockout round. So until next time, guys, which will be around... which will be, I think, late September when the draw is made for the group stages. Until then, peace out.